Kazakh steppes are one of the first places on Earth where a human being discovered the mysteries of metallurgy. So it is not surprising that our ancestors took jewelry to the level of exquisite art, but also made it an integral part of national culture. Women's jewelry, of course, comes in a wide range of styles, and it's amazing how few of them were designed solely for beauty. Most of the decorations had a significant meaning or were associated with certain rites or customs.
Жалпы біздің әшекейлеріміздің арасында шекелік қазіргі таңдағы бетке ұстар өніміміздің бірі болып табылады.
One of the most popular Kazakh jewelry is shekelik. It is in demand today, even in the field of high fashion, and has really become a kind of brand.
Бұлай деуіміздің де үлкен себебі бар. Себебі қазіргі таңда заманауи.
In general, attention to national motifs has always been high, and it only grows each year.
Көзге көріне бермейтін, алайда үлкен сәндік қолданбаларды көрсету.
Designers are always interested in creating something that combines the traditions of the past and the present trends.
Қазақтың тарихындағы үлкен бір жаугершілік заманды бастан кешірген көшпелі заманды.
Decorations are like pages of national history. They convey the values of our ancestors, the troubles and joys that they experienced.
Шекеліктің алар орны ерекше.
Jewelry makers primarily used silver to make women's jewelry. Each piece was specially made for a particular girl, taking into account her preferences and features. It was also considered if the jewelry was designed for every wear or for special occasions. Shekelik, which was typically worn at celebrations, was connected to a headdress or a girl's hair.
Жалпы шекелік көне заманнан бастап күміс металлмен жасалады. Алайда қазіргі таңда
This jewelry was previously made of silver, but craftsmen can now make shekelik out of simpler metals, making the jewelry more affordable to more girls.
шекелікті алу үшін қазіргі таңда әртүрлі
Because shekelik is worn on solemn occasions, precious metals and stones were used in its manufacture. However, I believe that this rule might be adjusted today in order to make jewelry more accessible, so that young girls can wear it not just on special occasions, but also on a daily basis. This will help to popularize national decorations among today's urban youth. As a result, we started making it both from silver, cupronickel, and other simple metals.
металдардан да жасай бастадық.
Сол жерде басқа тағатын әшекей бұйымдары мысалы.
Head ornaments are categorized as forehead pendants, earrings, and temporal pendants, or samaylık, as they are also called.
Бас киімнің екі жағына самайға.
As you might guess from the name, such decorations are worn in the temporal region, either on the hair or on the hat, because the shekelik was designed for special occasions. The decoration was frequently a spectacular product assembled of various pieces.
Тағатын ерекше сәндік бұйым. Шекелікті көбінде сән салтанатта, жиын тойларда тағат.
Some of which rang when a girl moved. In addition, jewelry makers frequently adorned the shekelik with a scattering of precious stones.
Бірнеше тақтадан құралған.
Of course, modern craftsmen who make the shekel follow their vision. Jewelry from jewelers can vary in weight and size, and the length of the jewelry can often fall below the shoulders. But there is one thing that all products have in common. No matter what the shekelik forms are, they are always flat and composed of several pieces that may be freely combined with each other.
Бір шекелікті дайындауға кемінде бір аптадан астам уақыт кетеді.
One shekel requires at least 1 week to make. Processing metal, giving it the desired shape, polishing it and decorating it with various precious stones is time-consuming and painstaking work. Our main task is to make the decoration as beautiful as possible in a reasonable amount of time.
Сұранысқа ие болу үшін жылдамдықпен барынша сәнді етіп жасау біздің басты мақсатымыз.
The specificity of jewelry sets it apart from the background of other types of nomadic applied art. If I may say so, the Kazakh jewelry maker's work was of a professional nature, and it was always individual work with its own secrets of craftsmanship that was passed on from generation to generation. And the work of jewelers has always been in demand because jewelry was woven into the culture of nomads' daily lives.
Жалпы бұл шекелік үзілмелі түрінен жасалған. Бұған біздің дизайнерлер
The decoration consists of several different elements. Our designers named it nazik, which means delicate,
ерекше әрі нәзік көрінеді. Тіпті ана жерде тұрған салпыншақтар
which is totally justified. This jewelry appears to be very gentle on a girl, and the numerous hanging, swaying pieces of the jewelry seem to emphasize the fragility and tenderness of its mistress' movements.
алыстан жуан болып көрінсе де, бас пішіндеріне байланысты жаңағыда атап өткендей, әртүрлі
I want to point out that the decoration itself may look heavy, but when worn on the head, it changes and looks much more elegant.
шашында әртүрлі
Of course, it can still look differently on different people.
көзден сақтау
However, its original purpose to protect against the evil eye is fulfilled in any case by this silver shekelek.
мақсатымыз. Жалпы бұл шекелік күмістен жасалған.
Қазақ халқының зергерлік бұйымдары ол ұлттық мәдениет тарихында алатын орын.
Jewelry is one of the few items that has lasted nearly unchanged for centuries.
Әшекей бұйымдарының тарихы сонау мыңдаған жылдардың алдында жатыр деп айтуға болады. Енді зерттеушілердің, тарихшылардың
Because of the ability of strong materials to withstand with time, we can certainly say that the jewelry business in this steppe was quite developed, and the origins of this art form can be traced back thousands of years.
әсілін сол неше мың жылдың алдында ата-бабаларымыз игергендігі анықталған. Сондықтан да
Archaeological study reveals that steppe dwellers mastered the technology of processing gold, silver, copper, and other metals even in ancient times. And many decorations served more than just decorative purposes. They were almost always used for other purposes.
тәрбиелік мәні жағында өте мән берген.
According to widespread opinion, jewelry art evolved alongside human civilization. Perhaps the need for jewelry was greater in the early stages than the need for full-fledged clothing. In the primitive world, decorating your body was a method to attract good luck, appease the powers of nature, and show your connection with a specific tribe. Much later, notably in nomadic civilizations, decorations were most likely primarily defensive in nature. These were amulets, charms, and a little later the aesthetic component joined. And later on, the role of indicating the owner's status.
Шекеліктің әртүрлісі болады, оның қысқасы болады, ұзыны болады.
Temporal decorations varied in length depending on the function of the decoration and the status of its owner. For example, if a long temporal decoration was put on a wedding headdress, it indicated that the girl's father was influential. These headdresses were completely adorned with silver elements. Kazakh girls wore a variety of jewelry, including pieces for the chest and neck. They might weigh up to 3 kilograms. Not for nothing is the term swan neck used frequently in Kazakh mythology. This was valued, and heavy jewelry was intended to help the girl to walk straight, have a good posture, and be dignified. After all, she was born to be the mistress of the house, the face of her family.
Бұл бір үйдің иесі ғой.
It's interesting that the jewelry was chosen for the girl with the intention of changing her personality. The girl was given jewelry with a lot of delicate hanging elements in an attempt to change her obstinate temperament. And if the girl was quiet and modest, bright jewelry inlaid with stones was chosen for her.
шекелікті әрине біздің қазақтың қыздары деймін.
Girls and young ladies wore temporal ornaments. This made sense as well. These decorations symbolized the wish for a happy marriage and a large number of healthy children. The length and sophistication of the temporal decorations determined the status of the bride's father. Jewelry hangs from the sides of the saukile at the temple area, as you can see. The girl usually informed her father about her plan to marry ahead of time. The parent then sought out the best master jeweler and placed an order for his daughter's wedding. A single headpiece could take the master more than a year to make. The wedding saukile represented the father's hope for his daughter to be happy in a new family. Precious stones, gold and silver were used to adorn the headdress. This was viewed as a wish for abundance and well-being.
Барған жерінде осындай жаңағы үбірлі-шүбірлі болсын деген мағынаны білдіріп тұр.
Metal pieces were not always used to decorate the temporal part of the girl's head. Fabric was often used as well. The drawings and ornamentation on the fabric headdresses, according to art historians, were their own and could not be used on other items of clothing. For example,
Шекеліктердің жаңа айтып кеттім ғой, әртүрлі бар деп.
traditional shekelik materials included not just metal but also ordinary fabric. The product made of fabric was decorated with various patterns and ornaments. The parental wish for riches, wealth, good fortune, and happiness could also be conveyed through embroidery. The length of the fabric shekelik was left at the discretion of the master and the purchaser. Our museum's exhibition contains several silver and fabric temporal decorations. Red designs are often painted on white fabric. This is because the bride's attire was traditionally red. As a result, when designing a transitory decoration, the white-red color combination was commonly used.
Жаңағы ою-өрнекпен жасағанды, оны да біз шекелік деп атаймыз.
National jewelry in modern Kazakhstan is much more than just museum exhibits. Kazakh jewelry is worn with pleasure by everyone, not just grandmothers and adult women. Young females are experimenting with national jewelry in their photographs. Stylized products are extremely popular, yet girls sometimes prefer vintage jewelry. Girls typically wear them on vacations and at family gatherings. And shekelek is not forgotten.
Шекеліктің енді құрамы да біршама күрделі, ұзындығы, салмағы.
Shekelek is made up of various parts. They differ in terms of length and weight, often fall to the very neck.
Көркіне көрік қосып сән салтанатына жарасатын ерекше.
This is an ornament that adds a special charm to girls. They are almost always adorned with saukile, the bride's headpiece. And it's quite beautiful.
Сәндік бұйым. Мінекей мен мына шекелікті қызымның саукелесінен.
These pendants, for example, were on my daughter's saukile. The saukile would be incomplete without them. Shekelek is a temporal ornament that is attached to the saukile's sides. I sometimes call them as temporal coins. They look stunning.
Тамаша сәндік бұйым.
Making women's jewelry is what jewelry makers have always done the most. Kazakhs put jewelry on girls literally from infancy, starting with a small protective amulet on a hand or foot, or continuing to amulets on the neck, ears, fingers, and stitched on clothes. As a result, at the age of 12, the girl acquired a complete collection of jewelry that grew in size and weight.
Қолына жүзік тақпаған білезік тақпаған әйелдің қолынан жасаған тағам арам деп есептеген.
It was believed that if a woman cooked with silver bracelets and rings on her hands, the food would be healthier and better.
Шеке бұйымдары осы таза күмістен жасалады. Күміс
In general, silver was regarded as a symbol of purity and health, which is why silver jewelry was so popular. The positive energy was strengthened by the symbols that were applied to this beneficial metal and the forms that were given to it.
әртүрлі асыл тастар қондырады. Тастардың өзінің қасиеттері бар. Ақық дейміз.
The same is applicable for precious stones. They were chosen for their powers as well as their beauty.
Өзден сақтап, белгілі кедергілерді жойып, жүйке жүйесін тыныштандырып,
People analyzed not only the influence of stones on health, but also their magical powers, which help in protection from the evil eye and ill-wishers' thoughts.
біздің қазақ халқы осындай философиялық мәнге ие әшекей бұйымдарды тағып жүрген ғой.
Numerous scientific studies and archaeological finds testify not only to the long history of jewelry in modern Kazakhstan, but also its versatility and richness. Today, the jewels of our forefathers are truly historical treasures in the expositions of domestic museums. There is a wave of our predecessors' love for silver there, and there are pages of history telling us that other generations of our ancestors made jewelry masterpieces exclusively from gold, and they continue to amaze regular people and professionals alike.
Жалпы біздің ұлттық киіміміздің бір бөлшегі деп айта аламыз зергерлік бұйымдарды.
We can say with certainty that jewelry art is part of our cultural code. Jewelry was highly valued, and becoming a jeweler was a challenging task. This craft was passed down from father to son, and an average person, even if he possessed some skills and qualities, could not acquire the skill of a hereditary master on his own. Even today, jewelers use techniques created by their great-great-grandfathers to create national jewelry. In terms of stages of development, we can start with the period when people hung wild animal teeth on themselves, and later in the Andronova culture they already wore bracelets. And then we see the jewelry of the Golden Man, and we comprehend how the jewelry industry developed pretty fast, and how amazing master jewelers were already here in the distant past.
Сол кезде де асқан шеберлердің болғанын көреміз.
Despite the fact that Kazakh women wore jewelry from birth to death, the majority of their jewelry was worn during their youth and the first years of marriage. Women became more restricted in this regard as they became older, and the majority of their jewelry was passed down to the following generation of girls in their family, daughters, granddaughters, and nieces. So young ladies had an outstanding jewelry collection by the time they married, and it was replenished with new things right up until the wedding.
Мысалы, мен сізге айтам, мынау біздің қазақтың қыздары
Young girls could afford vivid colors and wore a lot of jewelry. All of these were primarily viewed as evil eye objects. They did, however, carry information about their owners. Unmarried girls' decorations differed from one another. After marrying, the girls tried to wear jewelry with fertility symbolism. It was believed that this would aid in the successful birth of multiple children and their future protection.
біздің тұрмыстағы қыз келіншектеріміз қос білезік тағады. Екі білегіне де білезік таққан.
Today's globalization process erases many boundaries, but ancestors' legacy does not become less significant. One can preserve one's originality, national traditions, richness, and beauty of both spiritual and material heritage. Integrate them harmoniously into your modern life, producing your own national brands.